What is up, everyone on YouTube? Thank you for tuning in. Today we're shooting another video with the 2016 Jaguar F-Type R. I did a video on this car maybe 3 weeks ago or like almost a month ago, and it did really well. So I'm doing another one, but it's more specific. It's gonna be the 5 most things I like about my 2016 Jaguar F-Type R. And it's not stock, the motor stock, the engine stock, but I have some suspension work done, different wheels, different tires. But I'm gonna show you guys the 5 most things I like about this car. Okay, so the 5 most things I love about the Jaguar F-Type R. Even though there's like 100, I can't give you 100 because the video would be too long. I'm gonna give you 5. The first out of the 5 is the thing that arguably is like the most iconic thing about this car, the Jaguar F-Type R, the V8 version, is the exhaust noise. Crackles, the pops, the sound, the stock, the fact that it's a stock exhaust and it sounds the way it does, it's ridiculous. It's, in my opinion, it's one of the best sounding stock cars. Matter of fact, I think in 2014 or 15, correct me if I'm wrong guys, but one of those years, I think the F-Type R, the V8 version, got voted the #1 best sounding stock exhaust. And it's one of my favorite things. It's my #1 thing, I think, because the fact that I could buy this car, I could get this car from the dealership and have it sound amazing right away and not have to really change anything about it. It's awesome. #2, it's the design of the car. The car is, from the outside perspective, when you're looking at it, when you're watching it drive down the road, drive down the street, a lot of people, if you're not into cars, they'll be like, what kind of car is that? Is that what kind of exotic car is that? Is that a Aston Martin? Is that a Ferrari? I can't tell. And this is just me from my personal experience driving the car on normal streets and people asking me questions. The design is amazing. The fact is that Ian Callum, who's actually a previous Aston Martin designer, he designed 3 Aston Martins, I believe, maybe more. Correct me if I'm wrong, YouTubers or YouTube watchers. Ian Callum designed this car. That's why you get a lot of resemblance and like body lines and dimensions of an Aston Martin. So my opinion of this car, the design is more like a futuristic Aston Martin, a better performing V8 version of an Aston Martin Vantage. 3, the fact that not a lot of people have this car. The Jaguar F-Type R is a very unique car in its class for its price range. That's why I got it, among a bunch of other reasons. But the fact is, I live in Los Angeles, guys. So in LA, you see a lot of Mercedes, BMWs, Porsches, Audis, all in this certain price range. So people a lot of the times go for the higher end models, like the M4s, maybe the 911. So you get the Carrera, the Carrera S. Those are all over $100,000. The M4 is maybe 70. If you spec it, it's 80 to 90. So you start getting into this territory of the used market. And then the Audi, you have, well, you have the RS5, but that was discontinued. They're just starting to get out with it now. You have Mercedes C63S, which is fully spec'd. It's like literally a $100,000 car. So in my opinion, for the looks, for the performance, for everything, and the fact of the price range, this is the most unique car. But I think a lot of people overlook that. That's why people don't see this car as an option, really. The Jaguar is just not as popular as Mercedes, as Audi, as Porsche. They don't sell as many F-Types as those cars because the 911s they're great cars and people just know more and the name is more relevant, so people go with that car instead of the Jaguar F-Type R. But if you're watching this video and you're interested in getting an F-Type or an F-Type S or F-Type R, F-Type SVR, I strongly, highly recommend it. I promise you, in your area, it'll be more rare of a car than than the car you're looking at getting, whether it's the C63, like a C-Class, the BMW M4, a 911, or some type of Audi. Number four of the F-Type R is the performance. I love the performance of the car, and for what you get, it's really good. It's the 5-liter V8 supercharged that's putting out 550 horsepower and a little bit over 500 foot-pounds of torque. So it's a really balanced car. It has a really linear power band. It doesn't rev super high. The red line's like 6.5, so you're shifting at like 6. So it's not like, you're not gonna be revving this car like a Ferrari or Lamborghini up until 8.5, or like a Porsche GT3 or anything. But it does sound amazing. It does perform amazing. I take it to the canyons at least, I'd say at least once a week. The thing we have to remember that I'm reviewing on this car is it's the 2016 model. It's not the 2015. So the 16 and up have all-wheel drive. So the way it handles the 2016 model is way different than the 15. The 15, I'm sure you could have some fun with it and do some donuts and get sideways, but this car is a lot more balanced, a lot more planted. I've driven Porsches before. I've driven all-wheel drive Porsches before, and Porsches, in my opinion, are one of the best handling cars. I wouldn't say this is better than a Porsche, but it's different, and it definitely holds its ground in its own terms. There's very little body roll when you're going through corners at 2nd and 3rd gear, or going on an on-ramp on a freeway. The steering feel is actually pretty good. It's not really dumbed down. The feeling is, it gives good feedback. It's not like my BMW that I had before had way worse steering. It was a 335, and like, it was, some parts and some turns were very numb. Where this car, I feel pretty connected to the road. Not as good like as a 997, 911, like a GT3 with, it was not electric at all. It was all hydraulic. That is like the best, but this is good for what it is. Siri, I'm not trying to talk to you right now. I don't know why you're trying to talk to me. So that's the motor, right? The motor is really good. The engine's really good. The exhaust is really good. The supercharger is really good. The 8-speed ZF automatic is actually very good. Like I said before, I've driven a Porsche, so it has the dual clutch, which is one of the best dual clutches in the industry, as you guys know if you're card people. But the ZF 8-speed is the same actual 8-speed that I had in my 335. So I'm very familiar with it, and I'm very familiar with the mannerisms. So I can drive the car very hard and know when to shift, and it's very fast and very responsive. I'm not gonna say it's as fast as a dual clutch, because it's not. But the way Jaguar programmed this ZF with the torque converter and shift times and how aggressive it shifts, it's very good and very crisp. So I definitely can't complain about it. Would I rather have dual clutch? Yes, I would. But am I happy with the ZF 8-speed? 100%. I'm 100% happy with the ZF 8-speed. Day-to-day driving, highway driving, city driving, traffic driving, it is perfect. When you want to get in the canyons, you knock it over, you can pull the paddles yourself, and shifts happen very quickly, as I'll show you in a sec. Here, you can hear it. As you can hear, as I pull the paddles, they shift very fast. For what it is, it's an 8-speed automatic. It's very good. Number 5 is the interior of the car. It's a really nice place to be while you're driving it, while you're sitting passenger, while you're driving it hard, while you're driving it in the city, while you're cruising. It's literally wrapped in leather everywhere except for the roof, but it's still a really nice material. It's not suede. It'd be cool if it was suede, but it's a nice material. Everything else is wrapped in leather. There's a few pieces of plastic, but for the most part, it's all leather. One of my favorite parts of this interior of the car is the panoramic roof. You have an option to get, I think, carbon fiber, but I got this because I think it looks way cooler and it brings in a lot more light. And sitting inside the car as a driver and a passenger, you get the sense of the interior is bigger than what it is. And when you close it, you actually feel like the car is smaller. So I love this. It doesn't pop up. It's just a full glass roof, so it's a full panel roof, but I like it for what it is. It brings light in, it makes the car seem bigger and more spacious inside, and it actually brings the mood up of driving more because you get more sunlight in. So I love that fact. Number 2 is the air vents, the air conditioning. So whether it's heat or cool, if you want some air, you turn it on, the vents pop up. If you don't want them, you turn it off, the vents go down. It's really, really cool. It's a really unique design. I don't think I've seen any other car that I can remember being in personally that has this. If you guys know of any cars that have this air vent feature, comment below. But those are my 2 favorite things inside. Everything else is pretty functional. All the buttons are really good. The paddles feel great. The steering wheel, I opted for the flat bottom. They have a full circle one. I much prefer the flat bottom just because, not because it's so small and need it, but I think it looks cooler. And the leather on the steering wheel is very, very solid. The feel is great. It is a little thicker, but my hands aren't super small, so I'm perfectly fine with the thickness of this steering wheel. And the oh shit handle. There's this oh shit handle right here that it's for the passenger. It kind of puts the passenger that side and pretty much says, hey, stay on your side when I'm driving. But it also means, hey, if I'm driving really fast, the passenger has something to hang on to right here. All right, guys and girls, that is it for the video. The 5 most things I like about my F-Type R. If you guys like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumbs up. Share this video to any car enthusiast friends or friends that may or may not want to buy one of these things. But until next time, I'll see you guys on the next video.